What do you think of when you hear the name Bullet Club? A dominant faction of foreign heels? A YouTube show? An iconic t-shirt design? The House of Torture having a very apt name when evaluating their matches. None of these would be wrong answers, of course. Yes, since debuting in 2013, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Bullet Club faction has experienced its own long journey through the peaks and valleys of wrestling relevancy. However, even with interest in New Japan waning following the start of the pandemic, Bullet Club still means enough that you can have programming on WWE, AEW, and Impact dedicated to the group in some way. Whether that be Jay White cutting a pro Bullet Club promo on Dynamite, or WWE having Finn Balor and AJ Styles make the llamas kiss while motioning at their hands and going, eh? This is the thing you like, right? A wide reach indeed. With such a reach and many years of history to pull from, Bullet Club has amassed a large list of roster and alumni with contributions ranging from changing the wrestling business as a whole to being a net negative on the group itself. It's time for another longer than average list. I'm Tempest hailing from partsFUNknown, and this is every Bullet Club member ever ranked. Also a side note, we will only be including full-time members, so no Scott Norton, Haku, Stephen Amell, or Peter, and I'm not including Marty Skrull cause I don't wanna. Sorry not sorry. But before we crack on, make sure of course to give this video a like and subscribe if you like more fun wrestling rankings just like this, and if you especially like the rankings, make sure to check out our list of every single Ring of Honor World Champion ever ranked. Number 30, Bone Soldier. The original Bone Soldier is the worst that Bullet Club has to offer. Kevin Kelly at one point said he was the worst wrestler he had ever seen in his career. It must be true. Kevin Kelly wouldn't lie to me. He has such a trusting face. Wearing a stupid Halloween mask and track pants, not even the other Bullet Club members wanted to associate with him. He was only in the group from September 2016 to February 2017, where he'd stand on the apron sticking out like SpongeBob's grotesquely sore thumb. Number 29, Jado. Once upon a time, Jado was a capable wrestler. He was a multiple-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champion and a solid talent, but that was then, and unfortunately now he's practically immobile. Just watching him move has been painful since his spinal surgery, but his short run with Bullet Club came to a merciful end in 2022, exiting alongside GOD. Number 28, Dick Togo. There's not much separating WWF Attitude Era star Dick Togo from Jado on this list. Dick Togo just doesn't look like he's in pain when he walks. Debuting at Dominion 2020 by helping Evil secure the IWGP Heavyweight and Intercontinental titles for the first time, Dick Togo has been a blight on New Japan since then, interfering in every single Evil match like goddamn clockwork. It has made New Japan genuinely unwatchable at times. However, at least Togo can say he's been part of the most influential faction in history. Kaintai, of course. Number 27, Gato. Similar to the previous two entries, Gato is primarily a manager for Jay White these days. Gato was once a very capable wrestler, working as Jado's tag team partner, but now he adds little to the honor presentation of the Biz Cliz. I mean, at least he manages Jay instead of Evil. Number 26, Frankie Kazarian. Frankie Kazarian was in Bullet Club, you semi-familiar folk all think to yourselves? Don't you lie to me. In Ring of Honor in 2017, Frankie Kazarian joined Bullet Club, turning on his partner Christopher Daniels. However, it turned out it was all just a ruse as Kazarian turned on Adam Cole a month later, allowing Daniels to capture the ROH World Championship. Meaning while Kazarian is fantastic, a classic Bullet Club member, he is not. Number 25, Cody Hall. Oh, Cody Hall. So much potential. The son of the late WWE Hall of Famer Scott Hall, Cody has never lived up to his family name. He has the size to be a big star, but it just hasn't happened. Hall was in Bullet Club for a brief time, often assisting the Young Bucks in their matches. He was part of the group during some of their most successful times in 2015, but he was never the highlight. He sure is big though. Damn, maybe Vince is onto something. Number 24, Evil. Each entry to this point has had fairly low potential for greatness as a Bullet Club member. This one, however, has simply been a disaster. Evil was pushed hard as a main eventer in 2020, joining Bullet Club and winning the IWGP Double Championship in one weekend. His reign was a major step back for the title, and he has since gone on to lead the House of Torture subdivision of Bullet Club, which, notably, has also been rubbish. Evil's tremendous work as a babyface has not translated to his work as a heel, and Dick Togo constantly ruining his matches has made Evil's work in Bullet Club a slog to get through much of the time. It's very weird that the man named Evil worked better as a babyface, but here we are. Number 23, Sho. The breakup of Roppongi 3K felt like a long time coming, and an opportunity for Sho to spread his wings and show what he could bring to the junior division in a singles role. Instead of being the ace the company has needed since Kushida left, Sho has been part of the House of Torture. And it's moments like this that I think about Morgan Freeman's speech about hope being a dangerous thing, and then I think comparing the House of Torture to being a literal prison is a bit much. Number 22, Hikuleo. Hikuleo earns points for longevity, even though he has yet to do anything of real importance. Son of Haku and brother of the Gorillas of Destiny, Hikuleo has been in Bullet Club since 2017, which is hard to believe at times considering the time he has spent has just been so uneventful. He's managed to improve a lot over the years, most recently on NJPW Strong, but the BC's tallest gorilla has yet to win any titles or any singles matches of any significance. Number 21, Juice Robinson. Bullet Club's newest member duped the world into thinking he was letting his New Japan contract expire with the intentions of chilling at home. In 2022, Juice Robinson made what everyone thought was his final New Japan appearance at Windy City Riot, only to immediately turn on Hiroshi Tanahashi and turn heel for the first time in the promotion. You have to play the waiting game to get a proper read on Juice Robinson's standing in Bullet Club, but I don't feel like playing that game, so I'll wait to play the waiting game. Number 20, Chris Bay. Chris Bay became the first Impact Wrestling star to join Bullet Club after the promotion began working with New Japan again during the pandemic. We are now officially shifting out of the tier of bad Bullet Club members. In this case, Bay hasn't lit the wrestling world on fire by any means, but he's been one of Impact's best and works to make Bullet Club's Impact matches better just by being in them. Number 19, Robbie Eagles. Robbie Eagles was a difficult one to place. He's extremely talented and has had great matches while in Bullet Club, but he never quite fit the group. Even when he was part of the faction, he was much more of a babyface than his peers. He would often chastise Taiji Ishimori and El Phantasmo for their heel antics, leading one to ask why he was in the faction anyway. But because New Japan was a place where these little character moments all mean something, after a classic match with former mentor Will Ospreay, Eagles left Bullet Club to join Chaos the next day. His exodus was the most memorable thing he ever did with the faction. Number 18, Yujiro Takahashi. Longevity plays a large role with Yujiro Takahashi's placement. It's hard to believe now, but there was a time when Yujiro joining the faction was a major angle. The Tokyo Pimp, and how's that for your next NXT 2.0 gimmick, defected from Chaos in 2014 by turning on Kazuchika Okada, costing him the IWGP Heavyweight title to the debuting AJ Styles. He's been involved in never openweight trios and such, but he's been one of the least important members of the group for quite some time. He was the faction's first Japanese member, but with so many now that no longer feels like it carries as much weight. Number 17, Chase Owens. Everything that was said about Yujiro Takahashi could be said about Chase Owens as well. Well, almost everything. Chase Owens is indeed not Bullet Club's first Japanese member the last time I checked. For years, he was the one to eat the pin in multi-man tag team matches, and he has done an admirable job in that role. Every so often getting a big opportunity like participating in the 2021 G1 Climax. He is Bullet Club through and through, just not one of the more important members. Number 16, El Phantasmo. El Phantasmo joined New Japan and Bullet Club in 2019, and while he brings a different douchebag energy than the others in the group nowadays, as he sticks his tongue out and gyrates like a fish being tased, he has fit the role of a foreign heel very well. He is another excellent wrestler, having standout performances in his Best of the Super Juniors and Wrestle Kingdom outings. He is yet to achieve much singles success outside of his Super J Cup win, but he and Ishimori have been a solid junior tag team for the faction, picking up right where the Young Bucks left off. Number 15, Hangman Page. It's hard to look at Hangman Page as anything but the top star of All Elite Wrestling he has become, but during the days of Bullet Club, he had a ways to go. A fairly bland character at the time, Page joined the group with Adam Cole at Ring of Honor's Global Wars event in 2016. His work on being the Elite brought him a long way as a character, but his best work didn't come until he left the group in 2018. He still had good matches, having several in the 2018 G1 Climax, but Page will be best known for his ascent after leaving Bullet Club. Number 14, Taiji Ishimori. We have reached the tier of good Bullet Club members with the new Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori. Ishimori could not be more different from the original Bone Soldier if he tried. He's been one of the best juniors in the world for years, but has shown it on a huge stage since arriving in New Japan in 2018. The only problem with Ishimori and Bullet Club is there has rarely been a connection with him in the group. His allegiances seem to be to the Tongans, but with them out of the picture, there are even fewer things tying him to Bullet Club. Number 13, Tanga Loa. Tanga Loa has only recently started to put it together as an in-ring performer the last few years, but he has the other assets you need to be great. He and Tama Tonga have been a great team for years and a true fixture of Bullet Club. They refuse to stop winning titles, becoming the IWGP Tag Team Champions for the 7th time in 2021. And let us not forget the fact that these two are a real-life team named the Gorillas of Destiny, which is still one of the most absurdly awesome names for any team ever. Tanga Loa hasn't been great enough to crack the top tier of Bullet Club members, but his identity is synonymous with the group, and points have to be given for that. Number 12, Doc Gallows. One of the earliest members of Bullet Club, Doc Gallows stepped into the role of Carl Anderson's tag team partner as Bullet Club's heavyweight team and Quizlemania participants. Dr. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson always felt Bullet Club adjacent while they were in WWE, routinely being called The Club, wink, and shuffled next to whichever of AJ Styles or Finn Balor WWE wanted to appeal to the Bullet Club fans with at the time. I don't count this as time with the faction, but it goes to show just how linked they are with Bullet Club's identity, which was illustrated further by Gallows' long-awaited return to New Japan and Bullet Club in Japan in 2022. Number 11, Adam Cole. If this list was based purely on in-ring ability, Adam Cole would have to be near the very top. However, his spot with the faction is taken into account as well, and Cole just didn't quite fit the Bullet Club makeup. He was perfect with the Elite, which is once again being seen in AEW, but at his core, Cole wasn't Bullet Club, and it feels like this was the case with many of the Ring of Honor members of the group. Cole's ability and interplay with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega put him in the top half of this list, but his short time with the group leaves him outside the top 10. Number 10, Cody. Some people just embody chaotic energy, and in Bullet Club, Cody was nothing but chaotic energy. The little comic book villain arrived at Wrestle Kingdom 11 and was never on the same page as Kenny Omega, and was a key figure in the Bullet Club Civil War of 2018. That being said, he was one of the better parts of Bullet Club during this time. His matches were consistently good, and his impact on the group was always evident. He was as much a foreign heel as you can get, coming straight from WWE, which matched much of what Bullet Club's identity has always been. Number 9, Kenta. Kenta has been one of the better additions to Bullet Club in recent years. He joined the faction in 2019 after not being embraced by the New Japan fans, and he hasn't looked back since. Despite being Japanese, Kenta works as a foreign heel. Even before working for WWE, he was a pro wrestling Noah guy. New Japan has never been his home, and once he embraced that, his character has begun to shine. He fits Bullet Club better than most in the faction these days, honestly. Number 8, Jay White. It is no secret that Bullet Club has not been as important or as popular since Jay White took over the group in late 2018. While it's not necessarily a bad thing that a heel faction is not as popular anymore, it does sort of feel like the NWO after the hype died down. With that negativity out of the way, Jay White is one of the most complete wrestlers in the world and sits high on this list as a result. Not the most iconic Bullet Club leader, but you would have a hard time arguing that Jay hasn't been just as talented as the rest of them. Number 7, Bad Luck Fale. And from one end of the Bullet Club work rate scale to the other, we have one of the original 4 members of Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale. And Bad Luck Fale is Bullet Club through and through. He has never been the best wrestler, but given the right circumstances, he can have a good match, often helped by New Japan's bonkers roster in the 2010s. His position on this list is entirely dependent on his longevity in the group, as one of only 2 remaining members from the group's inception, and the only one to do so without a hiatus. After 9 years in the group, Fale's loyalties remain with the Bullet Club. Number 6, the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks must be given a tremendous amount of credit for the growth of popularity in Bullet Club. Their being the elite show brought in many fans in 2016, but they'd been tearing it up long before then too. Joining the group in late 2013, the Young Bucks were Bullet Club's first junior tag team for half a decade. Not only that, but they established themselves as the best tag team in the world during that time, and no, I won't stop for even just a second to debate that, we must keep going. They added so many things to Bullet Club, and being the elite shaped much of the group's identity during its most popular period. Whether or not this was the part of Bullet Club you connected with is up to you, but it is undeniable that the Young Bucks did more for the Bullet Club brand than most others on this list. Number 5, AJ Styles. For my money, there was no time that Bullet Club was cooler than when AJ Styles was the leader. Look at his entrance at Wrestle Kingdom 10 and tell me this isn't the coolest wrestler on the globe. Arguably the most successful leader of the group, Styles had a pair of lengthy reigns as IWGP Heavyweight Champion. No other Bullet Club leader has held the title more than once. Styles wasn't as influential a leader as those who immediately preceded and succeeded him, but man was he great. For many, this is where Styles cemented himself as one of the generation's best workers. Everyone who watched TNA knew he was great, but let me tell you, he hit another level in New Japan that remains the best in-ring run he has ever had. AJ found out the hard way that you don't walk away from Bullet Club when you're the leader, being forcibly removed by the Elite at New Year's Dash 2016. Number 4, Tama Tonga. Some things just feel like they're gonna last forever, and Tama Tonga in Bullet Club felt like one of those things. Even now, with Tama a babyface representing New Japan against Bullet Club, the cosmic scales are out of balance. Tama Tonga always had a swagger about him that few can match, and that swagger was very Bullet Club. He and Tangaloa have been tag team champions a whopping 7 times, making them the most successful tag team in the group's history, but New Japan history as well. Only Bad Luck Fale has spent more time in Bullet Club than Tama Tonga, and even after a decade's worth of change, the identity of Bullet Club will always come from its founders. Number 3, Kenny Omega. What is there to say about Kenneth Omega? Omega's run as Bullet Club leader featured many of the most important storyline moments in the faction's history, whether that be Omega kicking AJ Styles out, his relationship with Kota Ibushi, and his rivalry with Cody Rhodes. It is undeniable that Bullet Club was at its most popular with Kenny Omega at the helm, and that is for many reasons. Omega putting on industry-shifting matches with Kazuchika Okada and Chris Jericho brought tons of new eyes onto the product. All the while, he proudly waved the Bullet Club flag figuratively and literally when he won his 2016 G1 Climax. In terms of talent, Omega would take the top spot, but there are 2 more who embody Bullet Club even more than he. Number 2, Carl Anderson. The Machine Gun, Carl Anderson. One of the original members of the group and a proper example of the attitude Bullet Club represented, now back with the group at last. He was second in command to both Prince Devitt and AJ Styles and served as the group's mouthpiece for much of that time. Bullet Club had a lot of great eras and moments, but Carl Anderson doing a BC roll call with a faction full of champions and stars of the present and future in 2015 is pretty badass. Had he not left New Japan to go to WWE in 2016, there's a very good chance he might have taken the top spot. However, with Carl finally having made his way back to the group he helped create, he could take the top spot before long. But until then, number 1, Prince Devitt. It doesn't get much more OG than this. The founder of Bullet Club himself, Prince Devitt, has to take the top spot on this list. Now known by many more fans as WWE's Finn Balor, Devitt was the superstar that launched the success of this cutting-edge faction. This group of foreign heels was not popular at first, but eventually fans started to appreciate the nuance of their performances. Devitt was at the center of this. Frustrated by constant disappointments and mistreatment from New Japan management, Devitt turned on Ryusuke Taguchi and aligned with Anderson, Fale, and Tama Tonga. You want to see the squad? That's the squad right there. Being carried to the ring on Bad Luck Fale's shoulders, Devitt went undefeated in the 2013 Best of the Super Juniors, winning the tournament and the junior title before defeating Okada and Tanahashi in the G1. To this day, no one has captured more of the spirit of Bullet Club than Devitt. The Bullet Club anti-establishment sentiment was his sentiment, and as long as Bullet Club is still causing a headache for management, Devitt's impact is still felt. He may have left before the faction reached its peak, but the Bullet Club's heart will always beat with the blood of a demon. And that's our longer than average list. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to partsFUNknown so you don't miss any other future rankings like this and the Ring of Honor World Champions ranking that is floating around right here for you to click on at your viewing leisure.